right, so we talked a little bit in the last video about rules and just putting the dog in position to succeed. One of the things we can do is make it easier for the dogs. I noticed when I put Ruby down after shooting the last video, the guardian was sitting here, said, "Come here, Ruby." And Ruby kind of started coming over. She's like, "Come here." And then she made like a kissing sound. On average, most dogs have 10 different command words for each command. Come, come here, come, or excuse me, here, over here, whistle, dog's name, tap my thigh, make a clicking sound, and a couple others. So now the dog has to learn. The smartest dog in the world knows 1,000 words. Sounds like a lot, but if we start adding 10 versions of each, or for each command word, after 10 words, we're using up a lot of that brain power, which it would be much better to be applied in different situations. So what I would recommend that you guys do is come up with a list. That's all right, buddy. You can walk across. Is come up with a list of the command words. So if we're going to say come, everybody needs to say come. Now, if you speak English, come and come here mean the same thing. But to a dog, those are completely different commands. So what I would recommend is come up with your list of command words, put them on the refrigerator or wherever you want in the house, and then come up with a watchword. Maybe we say vocabulary. So if you come in the room and you see somebody is telling the dog, "Come here," when the word is come, then we're going to say vocabulary, and that person needs to stop, come, and immediately go to the command word. Now, how do we use and introduce the command word? A lot of people get confused. I just got done mentioning earlier about not using the word good dog or good boy. Dogs learn through association.
Sorry.
No, please.
10:15. Can you take her tomorrow at 10:15? That's the earliest they have.
Sure.
Dogs learn through association. So the time, and we have a window of about 3 seconds to either correct them or reward them for them to connect it. Now it has to happen enough times for that to really take place. I'm going to ask you not to eat that right now. I'm doing a little demo here. So if I want her to sit, if I'm giving her a command, what I'm going to do is say come, come. So I give her the command word to do it. That's the command stage. When she does it, I want to reward her immediately within 3 seconds maximum, but a third of a second, which is ideal. So sit, sit. So the second the treat touches lips, they should hear the command words simultaneously, and not good sit. You can use the dog's name once they've established it if you have multiple dogs in your house, like we have 2 dogs here. But if I want her to go down into a down position, does she have a command for down? Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. So as soon as her chest hits the ground, I release the treat in her mouth and I say just the command word. Now, there's another way of training that I like to use, which is called passive training. Now, for passive training, what it is I basically narrate whatever the dog is doing. Every time the dog comes to me, if I pet it and say the word come, even though I didn't ask it to come, the end result is still what I want, a desired behavior. Now, if we mark it by consistently saying the command word within 3 seconds of the dog coming to us, even though we didn't ask them to, and we give them a reward, either attention, petting, or a high-value treat, after a while, with enough repetition, if I hear the word come and I come to the human, they're going to hook me up. So after a while, the dog will start doing things easier and faster. Now, a lot of us assume that once our dog can sit, that's it. He knows how to sit. I don't have to work on it. The other day, I sat down and I used to get A's in penmanship. I sat down and I tried to write a card to someone in cursive. I couldn't remember how to do it. It's probably been 20 years since I've done it. Learning is degenerative. We have something called myelin that covers our neural pathways, and the more myelin, it helps the signal travel faster. This is why the more we practice things, the faster it than we get. But if we don't practice it, we lose it. Now, I have a puppy named Quest, and I taught him to sit when he was like 10 weeks, 9 weeks. Easy. Then I took him to Benson Days, and there was a parade with a marching band. He could not sit to save his life when that marching band is going on. That is way too advanced for him. Even though he knows how to sit, he can't sit in that capacity. So like I talked about in the other video, we need to help the dog practice in individual steps so it knows how to do that. So in this case, what I did is for dogs, if it's reacting or fearful of something or nervous about something, we want to increase the distance. So the street is going this way. What I did is I just walked away kind of at an angle, and I got to the point where it was far enough away I got the dog to sit. Then once I got him sitting, then I started angling back towards it. And we'd stop every couple steps, sit, and the music's gradually getting louder, but I'm helping him practice this. Eventually, a block later, the marching band stopped, and I had him, there was a guy with a drum and a guy with a cymbal right here, and those are the things that set him off the worst. He sat right between the two of them, easy, because I helped him break it down in individual steps and help him practice them. So every time your dog comes to you and sits, pet it and say sit. Now she gets sit. Now if she gets out of a sit, I stop petting. But if she comes to me across the room, I say come. If she lies down on her own, I say crash. That's the word I use. You can say lay down is the word that these guardians use. Sit. If I have a treat, I can give a treat at the same time. I don't always have to give a treat. Now, passive training is slower than traditional training because you're not actively doing it. But if you get in the habit of doing it, every time the dog sits, you reach over and pet it and say the word sit, you're training your dog without spending any time or effort doing it. Passive training is one of the easiest things that you can do. So what I would recommend to the family do is, again, create a list of the command words and maybe create a penalty. If you use a command word, if you we say vocabulary to you more than twice, you have to clear the table after dinner. You have to do dishes. So we create a little bit of a motivation to follow the particular rule. And now the dogs, it's easier for the dogs because they just have one command word for each action, and it's rewarded when they do it on their own. Passive training, like I said, is the easiest thing you can do that will have the biggest impact on your dog if you get in the habit of doing it. Ruby, sit. So that's passive training.